Pacifist podcast, our debut episode, Apocalypse. I'm one of your four hosts, Sam or Knub. I've got Mushu.
Hello. How are you doing?
Jeeves.
Hello.
Also known as Jesus. There he is. And finally, we've got Rambo.
Yeah, he's back. He's back with us.
He is.
Thank God.
Technical issues aside, we have him back in the house, which is fantastic. So we're going to talk about apocalypses and apocalypse-related.
I've been looking forward to this. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I mean, last time we didn't do it, we were all in costume. And now I feel as unapocalyptically as possible in my bright blue T-shirt or purple. What colour is it?
It's blue. Blue, mate, blue.
Yeah, learning them. Learning the colours.
Yeah.
Like a proper fucking grown up.
Right, so.
It did seem like the right thing to do, didn't it? I mean, what with the fact that we've been going through a pandemic, air quotes there, everybody. Yeah, I like the idea.
What's that? The apocalypse theme?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it seems like the adequate sort of course of action, doesn't it? At the minute, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, like we'd be hopeless at talking about football. Go Sports.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah, yay football players.
Well, look at Jesus down below. He's like, oh yeah, but we could definitely do a Formula 1 one.
Yeah.
Oh,
talk about racing all year. So, apocalypse.
Go for it, Moosh.
This is what we've all been talking about. Well, we've got quite a few themes set up. I think this is I think it's safe to say we're excited about all of them. Are we not? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, if we're not, why the fuck have we picked them? You know what I mean? It's kind of pointless. But this one is going to be a good one, hopefully. It's going to be a doozy. So, who wants to get the ball rolling?
I think I can jump on this straight away here.
Go on.
Do it.
All right, so my question is, what is your apocalypse? What started it? What caused it? What's happening?
What, like a dream one?
No, like what? You know, we're all different apocalypse. Different things can happen, like zombies, end of the world, whatever. So, individually, what's caused your apocalypse?
Oh, okay. Pick your apocalypse.
So, like in a perfect world, like if we get to choose our apocalypse,
yeah.
What it'll involve?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to answer that one first? That's a good question.
Jesus.
Yeah, James, go on. He's gone already. He's fucking gone already. Fuck you guys. I'm off.
I'll have to go with zombies.
Really?
Well,
yeah.
Why?
I think what fucking just be able to hack people to fucking shit.
Okay, that doesn't sound even remotely serial killery, does it? I've grown
What
up
about
with zombies. Hey.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh God.
I mean, like Walking Dead zombies rather than like 28 days later.
You mean the George Romero zombies? Nice slow ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if there's going to be a zombie apocalypse, you need it to be a slow one, don't you? I mean, speaking as a fat guy, I wouldn't be able to survive. I'd want to see more of the apocalypse than I'd actually get to see if it involved me running away, basically.
No, that's fair.
I mean, I know what I'm like. It's not even a fitness thing. I would literally trip over my own ankles and end up getting eaten within the first 30 seconds of the apocalypse kicking off. In fact, you're probably looking at patient zero, knowing my luck.
Oh, we've lost Rambo.
He's just disappeared for a moment. He's back. Oh, God.
He's getting tooled up, isn't he?
Just like out there.
You what, sorry?
I was just talking to Tyke out. Carry on, sorry, boys.
Oh, no, fair enough. Well, I always loved the idea of zombies. I mean, like, I grew up watching all of the movies. probably a bit too excessively. I mean, there's not many that I haven't seen. But as I've got older, and more importantly, as I've got kids, I realised that would be the shittest of all apocalypses, because they would just get me killed. I do that stupid thing of trying to keep them alive, and then, I don't want to eat beans out of a fucking can, and all of a sudden I get fucking munched, stopping a zombie eating them. And then they just get eaten anyway.
Yeah, I mean, once you have got other, the whole apocalypse thing pretty much revolves around not giving a fuck about anyone else and looking after yourself, which is really difficult when you've got family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, you guys, I feel like all four of you would be, or three of you, sorry, would be pretty good companions for an apocalypse. Certainly enough to babysit me for more than a week, I reckon.
Well, that's fair. Can we expand upon the zombie one? Because let's face it, zombies is probably the greatest of all the apocalypses.
It's what everyone thinks of, isn't it? Really?
Oh, definitely. But like, if you could pick one weapon or two weapons, you can have a main weapon and a side weapon. What would you go for? But they've got to be achievable. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'll have an AK-47." I am looking over your shoulder, Mushu. Not that one though. Yeah, you can't just say an AK, because where the fuck are you going to get an AK? I mean, best case scenario, you're going to find a dead squaddy and get, what is it, the SA-80? Now I'm looking at Rambo.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. So, what would
I could go and get that, couldn't I?
Well, maybe. But your ammo is going to be finite, isn't it? I mean, shotguns are probably the most realistic thing that you can get around where you guys are.
Now, here we go. I don't think guns are a good way forward in a zombie apocalypse, personally. I think they're unnecessary, they're noisy, and they draw too much attention for you. For instance, I was thinking about this earlier, and I really believe that, because this was it was going to be one of my topics of conversation, was what country sort of, where would you think would fare the best? And I was thinking about this, and I really believe that America, sorry, my American friends, would be one of the first to go under. And I say that because at the moment they're dealing with a nasty case of the flu, and they're tearing each other apart. If you can imagine what they'd do if you actually got living dead people walking around. Everyone's got fucking guns. Everyone over there is terrified at the minute. They're just going to shoot everyone, mate.
They've got something like 300 million guns in that country. I was listening to. Oh, I should reference them really, because it was an incredible podcast earlier. Sorry to be staring at my phone. It turns out I can't say the word. COL. So like Colion Noir. He used
best
to
plug
work
ever.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it just turns out I'm an absolute spaz and can't read. But he used to work for the NRA, and he's all about. He's an advocate for guns. He loves his guns. But it was super interesting. Yeah, he gave out some of the facts and figures of how many guns America actually has, and it's astounding. And obviously, with the COVID crisis, everybody went out panic buying more guns.
But this is it, you see, and this is why I think they wouldn't fare very well, because they're too focused on their weapons. Sooner or later, they'll just end up shooting everyone. They've got one of the biggest militaries in the world, which they'd deploy on themselves. It would just tear itself apart. I mean, there would be some form of order, but I don't think it would be a very nice place to be. Put it that way.
No, I don't either. It's not a very nice place to be anyway. I mean, it's
go to Canada.
Country, but...
There, all the fucking zombies, they'll be walking around sorry. Sorry. Sorry, mate.
My problem with the firearms is that lot is when you pretty much used all your ammunition, you're fucked.
Yeah, we can beat them.
Well, I mean, this is pretty fucking heavy, to be fair.
Yeah, I know, but I'd rather use a baseball bat than that.
Yeah, I mean, Negan was onto something, wasn't he? Walking Dead wise with Lucille.
Yeah,
I think if you're not familiar with Negan and Lucille, I'm not even going to fucking bother explaining it. Just
He's
watch
the one that everyone's girlfriend wants him to wife.
Way to put it. Yeah, pretty much though. Yeah. So go on then, Jeeves. You're after these zombies.
Hang on, Moosh. You haven't even answered what you would have. You just said you wouldn't want a gun.
Oh well, I want Jeeves to what as a weapon wise.
Yeah. Well, what would you have? Your main weapon?
I would probably go along the route of some sort of tomahawk or axe. I would suggest maybe an ice pick, mainly because ice picks are designed to go in and come out fairly easily, aren't they?
Yeah, fair enough.
I would assume if it's hitting ice. I don't know. I mean, maybe we need to practice on someone.
If you're climbing an ice bank, you don't want it to come out pretty quick, do you?
I thought they were a bit serrated because they're like a little hook, aren't they?
Ice picks depends on which ones you buy. There's loads of different styles of them. Fuck off looking at me like that, you prick. I can fucking see you.
Me?
Yes, you.
I wasn't looking at anything. I was just like...
Well, in 1942, the original ice pick was flat and loads of climbers fell.
Because there's actually the ice pick killer, wasn't there? And his one was just literally, basically, it was like a really long nail. That's what it basically was, his one.
No, that's a different kind of ice pick. That's from Basic Instinct, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like for sculpting ice, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hey, if that works, fuck it.
Or the sugar.
Spear.
Nice.
A spear?
Yeah, something with a bit of range on it.
Okay, I like that.
Well, it's you got range, and if you come up to a fence, like a chain link fence, you can stab through it.
I thought you were going to say you can pole vault over it.
No.
No, it's just a bit cumbersome though, isn't it? What happens when you like fucking you got to go and get some supplies from a gas station or something like that, and you're in fucking Texaco with your spear with 30 zombies? I mean, well, sorry mate, I'll be waiting outside. Oh right, okay, yeah, all right, fair enough. If you're allowed sidearms,
yeah,
huh?
The Zulus did all right, didn't they?
Yeah, but yeah.
Can't be racist. Well, doesn't.
I'm not going to dress up as one though. I'm just going to put that out there. I like my normal clothes.
Yeah, no. Very frowned upon that. Very frowned upon. Yeah. So you're going with a spear and a kukri.
Well, or some sort of blade, long, medium length blade.
Fair enough.
Well, okay.
Zach, did you answer that?
I did. So we going for what sort of weapons? Yeah.
Yeah. You get one main weapon and a sidearm, but you've got to be able to achieve it. It's got to be achievable.
Oh right, okay. So you can't have like a military grade flamethrower and a surface to air missile launcher.
Yeah, but can I just say that
which one of them would be
exciting? Zach has in his garden.
Good point.
He's only got McDonald's in his garden, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I have. So I'd probably go for an older rifle, so like Lee Enfield, so I can get hold of one of them pretty easily. You got a bayonet on the end, so you can conserve your ammo a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't hate that answer. Someone had one of them in The Walking Dead, and I was like, oh, I like that. I mean, he didn't shoot it off, and he just stabbed him in the face quite a bit and hit him with the butt of the gun. It was, plus, the Lee Enfield was the sniper rifle for the army for, well, I imagine you can tell me exactly how long, Zach.
1909, I believe it come into service in the British Army, and then didn't get phased out until 1957.
I love the fact you know that.
Don't hold me to that. No. So that, and then probably machete.
Nice. Good, solid choice.
Can't go wrong with a machete, mate.
No.
Because the thing is, even they've got enough weight that even when they're blunted, they're still going to do some damage, even as a blunt instrument. I quite like that.
Can I just make an observation here, or a point? Zach literally within 10 seconds of having his first machete stabbed himself with it.
Did do that. I
did. True story.
Yeah, maybe we'll just give you a spork and a sponge. You can make do with that, mate.
Maybe we can just dress him in some leather trousers or something. Give him a little bit of extra armour. I mean, we could probably find leather trousers that fit Zach. We're not going to find anything that are going to fit me or you.
I mean, I'm almost willing to bet that he's got some leather shorts already.
Yeah, but the problem is they've got no ass cheeks to them. That's
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, by 1,000,000 to 1 shot, I got bitten on the ring piece. my leather shorts didn't protect me.
Oh, who'd have thought it?
Yeah, I know. Apocalypse happens and you still get bitten on the ring piece.
Mushi, we didn't get your sidearm.
I didn't realise I was allowed a sidearm, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, one main weapon, one secondary.
Okay. I would say possibly a hand grenade. Just for the final full stop. Because if it gets to the point where it inevitably will, I'm surrounded by zombies and just haven't got the fucking energy to do anything about it, I can just pull that pin. Goodbye, everyone. See you later. Night, night. That's me. I'd rather go out that way than getting noshed off. Right, cancel that. I'd rather get noshed off. I want to get noshed off to death. I didn't know that was an option. No, yeah. Right. I'd rather go out with a big bang than getting slowly digested by lots of dead people.
See, do you know what would be my problem with having a hand grenade as my final full stop? Is you always see that, like in the old war movies, someone would throw themselves on top of a grenade to save the rest of the people. But like a grenade comes out, oh fuck, no my luck, I'll pull the pin and fall on my stomach, and it would just go. Yeah. Oh, well, that was fucking great.
No one else in your party even realises you sacrificed yourself for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where's Sam? And all of a sudden I stand up and they're like, oh, you've lost weight, mate. I mean, like...
in the arms.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh,
well, have you answered yet, Sam? I don't recall you saying what weapons you've sat there and listened to us, got your ideas. Go on.
My secondary weapon would have to be a knife. I mean, how could you not have a knife? I really like the idea of a K-bar. It's just a nice, solid knife.
Are we talking about like those big construction crowbar sort of things?
No. A K-bar, the military. US Marines. Thank you, Zach. I mean, honestly, you never end of sort of useful information with regards to the army. But my primary weapon, I'm not sure you guys will like it. It's a bit of a multi-choice one. Sorry, my milky whiskey.
Except, mate, yeah.
Beating on me a little bit, that was.
Who doesn't drink whiskey and milk? The apocalypse, ladies and gents, anything goes. Go on.
What you've got. I mean, that milk's going to go off pretty soon. I think I'll go for a crowbar. A decent, sturdy, solid fucking crowbar. I mean, because one, it's a blunt force, so I don't need to have any skill at all with it. And I can also jimmy open doors at the drop of a hat.
Oh yeah, you see, that's something that's been overlooked by everyone. I mean, the practicality of it as well.
Not everyone.
Not everyone, no, but certainly me, Zach, and Jeeves. I mean, Zach probably uses machete for getting into places if pushed, but I'd like to see Jeeves trying to get into his fucking Ann Summers when it's all barred up and he's trying to fucking lever open the gates with his spear.
It just pole vault in, wouldn't it? Up onto the roof, down the hatch.
Oh yeah, that's straight in through the window. Doink.
Yeah. And then he'd do a few modifications on some silky underwear with his shiny kukri, because it's ceremonial, not practical.
I mean, what I like about this, the fact that we're all talking about this now in this podcast, is the fact that this is being recorded. It's going online. It's never going to go anywhere. So when the apocalypse does actually happen, and we're all fighting for our lives with our said weapons. Whoa, Zach's just gone.
I'll keep going for a second. He might be back in a sec.
We'll keep going. I'm going to take a point for that though, because I was talking when he left, so that counts as a rage quit. Hey, yeah.
Do you know what? Can you hold the thought that you just had, and what we can do while Zach is gone is we can explain what we mean by have a point.
Yeah, by all means, yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, so if somebody rage quits, the person who's talking or causes said rage quit gets a point. Apparently, if you swallow a fly, the fly gets 2 points.
Did that just go in my mouth?
That's got to be 2 points.
If any of these motherfuckers can put an earworm in my head and I start inadvertently singing it, they get a point. We haven't really established any other rules.
But why don't we make it interesting, Sam and Jeeves, and probably Zach when he's back? Why don't we let the public get involved in it as well, in the comments box? You know, if you can drop a comment at any point which gets stuck in our head, or if you can annoy anyone to the point where they can't be fucking bothered to do this podcast, you're going to win something. I don't know what yet, but we'll work something out.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure I want to encourage all 6 subscribers to start fucking trolling us.
Fair enough then. Fair enough.
I think if you're going to get the public involved in the point system, you'll have to do it when we're doing a live.
We'll save that for when we're live then. Fair enough. We can edit that bit out then. That's cool.
We'll take that out. But either way, if you are watching and you do see something that you think would be score-worthy, like maybe making Jesus get flustered, that could be worth a point.
Yeah.
For instance.
Oh, excuse me. Good God. Welcome back. Thanks for joining again. We need to take a moment just to recognise a fallen brother. Zach is having internet issues. It happens, especially in this lockdown period. He's going to keep trying to reconnect, so he may well pop back in a moment. But he has pleaded with us to forge on anyway in true apocalypse style. So that's what we are going to do. Before we do, though, just a quick message. Please do drop a like and subscribe. It means loads to us. We're a fledgling podcast. Just do it. Just fuck it. I'm not going to explain it. You know why. Just do it. Right. So, where were we before we?
Well, we were talking about zombies, weren't we?
We were talking about zombies, weren't we?
I was in the process of saying why my weapon was the best choice.
That's right. Yeah, come on.
Because although Jeeves can pulver over stuff, and you can maybe chop some kindling with your little tomahawk, I can open car doors and stuff.
Well, all I can say is my campfire is going to be a hell of a lot warmer than your empty car. But
no, it's all right because I've got a knife. I can make the exact same kindling as you can with your tomahawk. With battening.
Oh, fair enough.
Can I also point out
that's how you do it with a pen?
Sorry, hang on. The Spartan wants to talk. Go on.
Can I just point out as well that I don't need to break the car door open. I just go through the window because I'm not fat.
He finally pipes up and it's with a fat joke. All right, how's your mum?
Yeah. No, I mean, all joking aside, he's got a point, yeah. I ain't getting through a car window. Not in one go anyway. It's going to be an awkward... I'd actually have to rely on the zombies just to chomp a bit off the side so I could wriggle in.
Oh shit! I struggle getting in a car door. I don't know why I said car in the first place. I just look for a container. Carisbrooke Castle's still got a door, right? I'll just open that up.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Where would you go? Obviously, these boys are all on the Isle of Wight. It's not obvious anything about it. If you know them, they're on the Isle of Wight. That's where they are. So they're already in a pretty good place. I mean, in Day of the Triffids, that was the only place mankind was left within England, the Isle of Wight.
Now there's an apocalypse for you. Fuck.
That was a great apocalypse. I mean, I genuinely really liked it. Oh, we never even finished Rambo's question. Rambo asked us what our proper apocalypse would be, and we just went off on zombies.
We're talking about zombies now. We'll revisit other types of apocalypse in a minute, I think.
Yeah, so let's just keep going with zombies for a bit while we haven't got Zach here. I do flip between those two names, don't I? It's like he's two people.
Yeah, well...
Rambo. He's Rambo when we need military facts and figures, and he's Zach when he's having the internet connections problems.
So your question is, what location would we use?
Well, so we all start on the Isle of Wight. I'm not there. Maybe I'm visiting. Who knows? I came over for a beer. We're going to podcast live. I came over and zombies break out. Where would you choose to go?
Carisbrooke Castle.
That's a good shout.
Yeah. I have a very good point as to why.
Oh, let's hear it then.
Yeah, don't keep us in suspense.
Well, one, it's already a fortress within itself.
Yeah.
But there is one of the keeps up there, which is... Andy will probably die trying to get to it because it is like 300 steps.
Oh, 300.
I've been up there. I've been up there. They're fucking moody steps as well, man. They're not good steps.
Right. They're thin, narrow, and one of the keeps only has one route in and out. So you can choke point the zombies to take them on one at a time, or barricade yourself in. There's no wow. So you could be able to climb out and escape while the zombies are still trying to get through or whatever, but you still have that it's one way in for them, if you know what I mean. So it's a defensive position. with very few people.
Yeah.
Now, I remember going on a tour of Carisbrooke Castle as a youngling, and I seem to remember that those towers are built, I want to say, anti-clockwise, so that way you can wield your weapons right-handed from a higher position. I mean, zombies don't carry weapons or anything like that. But that's what I seem to believe is it was built in that way. Unlike
it's a common medieval feature on castles and stuff like that. Or Oliver Cromwell used it a lot in his escape tunnels. He would use he would have a side tunnel that people would run down. They would duck into the side tunnel, wait until the enemy had gone down, and then he had one going counterclockwise. Yeah. So the enemy would follow them down there, thinking that they're following Cromwell and his goons, and then he'd come out behind them and just walk down and just literally murder them. And then, like, he'd do that in a lot of his secret passages and stuff. So anyway, sorry, Karen.
No, but there's the other thing I seem to remember about Carisbrooke Castle is they've got a mini museum that has actual vintage proper weapons.
Ah,
so a very valid point, Jeeves. I like that. I've considered that myself, in fact.
I think a Morning Star would be lovely against zombies. Nothing is saying no to that, is it?
Can you flash a picture of a Morning Star up? You can share media, can't you?
What I'll do is I'll pop that on afterwards. Cool. So by the time we go out, there will be a Morning Star somewhere around here. Somewhere around there. Amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what a Morning Star is.
It's basically like a big stick with a ball on the end with spikes.
Oh, I do know what a Morning Star is. That's a great choice. A fucking brilliant choice. Yeah. I would do the exact same.
Okay, so what about you then, Sam? Are you going Carisbrooke Castle as well? Are you sharing? Are you lodging with Jeeves?
Well, I think if this particular lockdown has taught us anything, is that isolation is not good for anybody. I mean, you start doing stupid things like streaming on Twitch. Love night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you start going a little bit crazy. And yeah, I do like the idea of that, but I've also always loved the idea of a zombie apocalypse happening and ending up on one of the spit forts. Those things in the silent. Now, I mean, there's probably a lot of logistical bullshit like eating, just in general. I mean, dogfish is okay, but I mean, Christ, I wouldn't want to eat it all the time from the Solent. That's like.
I think in an apocalypse scenario, mate, I think a lot of people would murder for that sort of diet.
Well, that's true. That funnily enough, that does bring me on. That tenuously links into one of my questions about the apocalypse. But yeah, so I'd either go with you, Jeeves, to Carisbrooke Castle, or find that it's filled with chavs and be like, chavs talking about football the whole time and be like, come on, boys, let's get over the spit fort.
It's okay. What you've got to remember is they all have to sleep.
Oh, you're such a murderer. Why?
I mean, this is like, if this podcast does nothing else, it's outing Jesus' murderous fucking psyche, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You're worrying. And cue knife. Oh, come on then.
Right, yeah, I would go along similar lines to you, Sam. But I was going to say needles.
Needles, nice.
Because there's land access to it. I've not seen the needles, but I'm assuming there is land access to it, and I would imagine it's only one way. There's only one path up to it, so it should be easily defendable.
Are you on about the lighthouse itself?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fucking bits of chalk that stick up at the end of it. I was like,
no,
it'd probably be a good place to have a picnic, but after that.
No, the lighthouse, the actual lighthouse tower. No, you might have to get through it by boat. I can't remember, but either way, it's quite close to land. Any zombies, if zombies do survive underwater, which there's no reason why they wouldn't, the tide will just tear them apart on the rocks. So you're pretty much safe from everything. And then as long as you've got a boat, you can get anywhere, can't you?
Yeah, you get a good night's sleep there as well.
Yeah.
The waves are down because I read the Max Brooks Zombie Survival Guide like 1,000 times, a ridiculous number of times. Read it, yeah, too many for my for it to be healthy. And he goes on in there about wherever you hold up, if there's zombies around, it would actually be a nightmare just hearing that constant groaning and scratching, doors and all of that. And your location and the spit forts, in all fairness, would be amazing for blocking all that shit out.
Yeah.
There is no land access to the Needles if you're staying in the actual lighthouse.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
No, very good.
There is a helicopter pad, though.
You can tell who the young one is, can't you?
Yeah.
There's a helicopter pad.
Yeah, there's a helicopter pad on the roof.
Well, there you go. That does me absolutely fuck all good, because we've all seen on video games exactly what happens when I get anywhere near any kind of fucking motor vehicle.
Yes, random trees appear.
That was a fast-moving tree, man. It come out of nowhere. It fucking took me right out.
Oh, shit, I've fallen out. Someone's updated their fucking controller settings, have they?
Someone needs to install fucking seatbelts in helicopters. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I'll give that a miss, mate. I'll just swim.
Also, more importantly, who the fuck can fly a helicopter? I mean, it's all well and good there's a helicopter landing, but if someone lands a helicopter on there, I'm going to be like, oh, shit, if they can fly a helicopter, they've probably got a gun. And my crowbar ain't looking so great against a fucking gun, is it?
That's when a spear just comes sailing past your, sailing over your shoulder.
He's had connection difficulties, so his gun's out of action. Oh dear.
So there we go. Then that's where we would all be. Jesus in his castle, you in your fort, and me in my lighthouse.
Yeah, I know where I'd rather. I like the idea of the lighthouse. I thought about a lighthouse because there's that one between Ventnor and Wroxall, isn't there?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's. I want to say that's St. Catherine's Hill or something, but it's been a long time since I've lived there, so I can't.
I think it is St. Catherine's Lighthouse.
Is that it? Oh, look at me.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
You know, I like the idea of like bunking in with Jeeves, to be honest, in Carisbrooke Castle, but I just think, like you know, the thought of having some fucking stinking, shambling fucking thing one side of the wall and then the other side you got the zombies. I just couldn't bear it.
Also, with regards to Carisbrooke Castle, is you know full well that the heroes of the Isle of Wight, Rambo's regiment, or what is it, 54 of them? It'd be well useful to be here to correct these facts and figures, but they would definitely take that over in a heartbeat. And you know, based on previous conversations with Rambo, I reckon a certain amount of sexual favours would have to be passed in order to gain access.
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as the apocalypse happens, morals are out anyway. You know, my standards just get dropped as soon as anything like that would happen. You know, COVID-19 come in and I've started looking at my cushions all sexy.
Well, what you got to remember as well is the Isle of Wight actually has quite a lot of forts that have
a porn.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, forts.
Yeah, you got a fort up Culver Downs.
Yeah.
Which is
there's a nuclear bunker on the island somewhere, isn't there?
Ventnor.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's in Ventnor, up on the Downs, where the early radar detection system was.
Yeah, because they literally went in there a week ago in hazmat suits to clear it.
Yeah.
Oh. Mental. Do you know what? The Isle of Wight's a really good location for it anyway, because you could literally camp on a cliff, like a little bit back from the cliff. I don't want you to roll off. But if anything came, you could just sort of, with Jesus's broom handle, because that's what his spear has turned into, in my opinion, you could just shepherd them off the edge, couldn't you? You'd be like, off you go, lads.
A bit like the scene in 300.
Yeah, a lot like
that. They push them all off the edge of the cliff.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when all the men were bumming each other. My bad. Sorry.
No, that's the porno version.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure if I've seen that version of 300. Sounds like kind of thing.
Pushing them off the cliff.
Yeah, I love that movie. I know it got a lot of shit, but I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, do right.
Yeah, great fun. And the Downs itself, nuclear bunker aside, I mean, if you went, it's quite hard to climb up there. And if you're a shambling zombie, I mean, just a little push, you're probably going to roll down to the bottom. That'll get you a few hours, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it'd be like cow tipping, but better.
Yeah.
Because they'd make a noise on the way down. They'd actually sound quite fun on the way down, I reckon. It'd be like,
with the occasional, with the little bobs. I say bobs. Have you guys all seen the George Romero movies? Night, Dawn, Day?
The Day of the Dead with Bob the Zombie. Yeah, the trained zombie.
Pizza.
Yeah, not a big fan of that.
No, me either. It was a low point in his career. In fact, I think I preferred his later two, like Land and I want to say Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead, yeah.
Yeah. Mainly that girl in it. Don't mess with Texas.
I mean, Diary of the Dead's a garbage film, but it's still, it's still better, I think, than the Day of the Dead.
Well, did you so obviously Night of the Living Dead being like the original classic? Do you know about that? He got like proper screwed over and didn't make any money from it whatsoever. But it's public domain now, so anybody can watch it for free online. It was public. It's been public domain for years and years and years. And the
right.
Oh Christ, I can't remember his name. You know the guy called Sex Machine from Dusk Till Dawn? He's a horror director and a special effects director, and he remade Dawn of the Dead, the colour version of it.
Yeah.
It's more or less the exact same, slight different ending. But yeah, he did it basically for, well, kudos to Romero, I think.
Yeah, well, I wish I'd known that, because then other than, like, we could have just played that rather than bothering to talk. People probably much rather watch that.
It's a fair point. Although I don't like the bit in the graveyard where she's like, they're coming to get you. I want to say Carol, but that's such
Barbara.
A dirty... Barbara.
Yeah, they're coming for you, Barbara. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Don't, because Zach does that really fucking creepy.
What?
Yeah,
you're not that talk.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, well let me lead on with the last part of the whole zombie thing.
Yeah.
How long? And do you know what? It's not even zombie. It's more apocalypse in general. How long do you think it'd take you to go cannibal?
Hour and a half.
An hour, as much as an hour.
Well, as soon as I get hungry, mate. Like I say, it's apocalypse. Rules don't apply, do they? You sort of, and it's one of those things you always think, like, well, I wonder what people taste like. So I'd be like, feeling a bit peckish. What shall I get? I could go and raid a shop, or Jesus there.
Well, I think for me it'd be quite a long time, because I quite like my potatoes.
Oh, fuck off, you dickhead!
So much so, actually, I had a jacket potato for dinner.
Oh, you're such a prick. You know what?
Right.
Fuck you. No, right, carry on. No. Let's just not talk about it.
The Viking man himself there with the big beard and the shiny head has a certain aversion for the jacket potato. It makes no sense. I assume it's to do with something along the lines of eating oneself. But I don't know.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just fucking pointless. Look, I could go into them, but it's just, you've literally just pulled something out of the ground and you fucking heated it up. And people think that's a fully acceptable meal. They think that is cooking. Look at this. I've just fucking warmed up a root vegetable, done fuck all else with it. Mm, delicious. Fuck off. Right, anyway.
But do you prefer it? Do you prefer your food above ground then? As long as it's warmed up and it hasn't lived underground.
I've got nothing against a potato, right? But stick it as a fucking side dish to some meat. That's what it's designed for. It's not designed to be eaten on its own. It's a fucking...
Oh, no, I agree.
It looks like a turd. And it tastes... You cook it, and everyone's like, ooh, this skin's so delicious. No, it tastes like an old man's ball bag. Fucking horrid.
Okay, so many questions. Just got to stop you here. One, I compared you to looking like a potato, and you still went with turd. That was more of a statement as opposed to a question. But the main one was, do old man's ball bags taste like potatoes?
No, I think it's more a texture. But yeah, I can imagine it sort of slightly soily, and that's the thing as well.
Speaking from experience.
Delicious potato. No, it tastes like dirt. What you've got there is you've got a dirt berry, and it fucking just tastes like dirt.
Dirt berry. That's what this piece is called. We've got a name for that. Dirt berry. Where's my fucking pen gone? Fuck's sake.
Anyway, enough about potatoes, right? Because we got How the fuck have we started off a podcast about the apocalypse and now we're talking about potatoes being pointless? Yeah, I would eat a human way before I ate a potato on its own.
Okay, right. Well, fair enough. Okay,
how about you, Sam?
Well, I don't imagine it would take me too long. So I've heard the rules are 3, isn't it? It's 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. I would feel like I was doing myself a disservice, being the size I am, not at least trying to last 3 weeks, just to shed some calories before eating a person.
Is that not 3 weeks until you die, though?
However, there's some additionals to this.
Go on.
One, I wouldn't want to be so weak that I couldn't, make it happen. And also, I wouldn't want... I assume these people are already dead. They're not zombies, but they're dead. Like it's like maybe in a live situation, the pilot crashed us. And
right.
All I'm getting at is I wouldn't want them to spoil. So, I mean, if it was day 1 and we've landed on a desert island... The pilot has died on impact. There's no clear food. I'm just trying to justify it to myself.
Okay.
So I like to think that I would last 3 weeks before I started eating people. But if I'm in a situation where there's a person dead, there's no other food around, I might turn them into jerky on maybe day 2 so it didn't spoil. Is that bad? I mean, I'm just trying to think practically.
But if they're already dead,
pragmatically.
I would say no, because it's survival. Instincts kicking in.
Well, I think it would make
it rescued on day 3 though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
day 3. What's that? Nothing.
It depends on your surroundings, though, doesn't it? I mean, like it would make sense. You don't have to go full cannibal straight away, but I think it would make sense certainly within the first day or 2 to butcher the meat, store it, pack it, and bury it like quite deep so it's kept refrigerated. And that way, no one really has to know. If you get rescued, they're like, "Oh, where's Barry?" Be like, "Fuck knows. He walked off that way. Good luck to him." But if you don't get rescued, you can dig up Barry and have some...
do you want to try some of my Jeremiah jerky? It's really nice. Yeah, you see, I go automatically, instantly thinking long term. I mean, you can stick yours in a dirty hole in the ground like a fucking dirtberry. Fucking dirtberry.
It's not a fuck. I blame you entirely for that, Jeeves.
That's going to keep me laughing all night, that is. So I don't know. Maybe I've overthought it. But I mean, what's his name in Castaway? Tom Hanks in Castaway. He was fucking talking to a bull, but I imagine he probably could have held off a little bit longer before he started talking to Wilson if he had a bit of,
Yeah, but there's a difference between talking to someone and eating them, isn't there?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he was clearly hungry and going a little bit mad.
Or at least that's what the police told me. What have you got to do, Jeeves?
Like and subscribe.